Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Listen, if it's children, just turn it off. We use language you shouldn't be hearing.
This is not safe for work or children.
Correct. NSFWs NC.
Most of the research for this is done while drunk as hell.
Correct. My name is David Copperfield, and with me, as always, is Fila Up DeFranco.
That was not nearly as good as you led me to believe.
I didn't say it was good.
No point. Very well. I assumed that when you said it was awesome, you meant good.
Oh well, that was I got a different one, but I gotta workshop that one a little bit because I wrote down your name, your kayfabe name, and it's really funny, but it doesn't make sense within the joke.
Is it my pedantic Mike name, or are we going with a different kayfabe? Different kayfabe.
No. It was different. It was different.
The illegitimate son of Vince McMahon, Mike.
No, for some reason or other, I thought and it is funny. It's a funny combination of words, but I'm not sure who I was referring to when I said scrotum hibachi.
Scrotum hibachi.
We were definitely watching New Japan. I just don't remember.
We definitely were.
Oh, it was Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi. The Kota.
Yeah, you get to. So if we're in the sim against the Golden Lovers, then you get to be scrotum hibachi, and I will be. I don't know what I will do for Kenny Omega.
Dick Tongo?
Could be Dick Togo.
El
Tongan Blanco.
El Tongan Blanco. Okay. That works. Anyways, we're here to talk about the G1, the US special as well. Will be covered here. Haven't gotten around to Lucha Underground. Been a little busy. Still have a lot of running around to do. Things to sign. For example, I was supposed to go to the bank today, get a notoriety to sign off on my letter of direction to distribute my mom's estate. And that didn't happen because the bus decided to drive right past me.
Assholes.
Little bit. Like, I understand I'm not at the bus stop. I get that. But I am literally a dozen steps from the bus stop. You can stop and wait 10 seconds for me.
I would wait for you at least 11 seconds.
Indeed. So let's get into it before I get all mushy. We had the US special, and I have just a couple notes here. Not a lot of notes, but it was a very good show. Go watch it. But we opened up with Tomohiro Ishii and Yano defeating Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. With Josh Barnett no-selling the turnbuckles. Not cool, Josh Barnett. Not cool.
Josh Barnett in general was not cool.
Yeah, no, it was not a great look for the commentary in general, and it has not been for this team of commentators with the Japanese stuff, because Jim Ross clearly doesn't have the drive, doesn't have the fire, doesn't have the desire, or just cannot pronounce the Japanese names particularly effectively, or remember who is who. And it's either he is too old to be doing the job, or he is not motivated to do the job. And either way, I get what you're doing here. He's a name to bring people in. They know Jim Ross. They associate Jim Ross with good wrestling. But I think it's actually a negative.
Yeah, I'm not even really in favor of Jim Ross doing it, because it's pretty obvious that this is just another job on his schedule. So I don't understand why they don't just have. I understand if they can't get Cyrus the Virus to be on every show. I understand that he's busy with Impact, but get Kevin Kelly and Rocky Romero. Get Kevin Kelly and Hangman Page did a great fucking job.
I think you mean Chase Owens.
Was it Chase Owens?
It was Chase Owens. Chase Owens did a spectacular job on commentary, I thought.
Oh, yeah. It was good. I enjoyed that a great deal. Too bad I didn't remember who it
was. You confused Chase Owens and Hangman Page. Congratulations.
They're both white.
That is about all they have in common. Well, and they're both members of Bullet Club.
And they have long hair.
I suppose.
And they wear footwear.
Well, everyone does.
I mean, not everybody.
Not Necro Butcher, but most people.
Not your boy, the completely and totally innocent Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Let's not get into that. We had a fantastic match for the Never Openweight title between Hiroki Goto and Mr. Jeff Cobb.
Hey.
Mr. Matanza Cueto. And if you enjoy suplexes, this is a match for you. If you enjoy hard hitting, this is a match for you. If you enjoy somewhat larger wrestlers throwing each other around, this is the match for you. Go watch it.
Was this the one where Jeff Cobb hit the backdrop driver of the gods?
Yes, it was.
Fuck, I marked out my balls off for that.
He did. His balls were literally in another province by the time he was done.
They usually are anyway. It rolls downhill.
We had the tag team titles on the line between the Young Bucks versus Sonata and Evil. I'm skipping things that I didn't take notes on. I know there were matches we just did not watch. Just to save time.
Wasn't the Yano? I know you went over that briefly, but that was the one where Zack Sabre Jr. actually had things to do, or was that a future?
That was a future match that we were going to talk about later on the show. Yeah. The Bucks retained against Sonata and Evil. This was also a very good match. I thought it had a couple of slightly too New Japan moments, by which I mean, of course, my whole, man, that really should have been the finish, and then by the time we got to the finish, I'm still going, that really should have been the finish about like 3 minutes ago. Yeah. I will say, I like the Young Bucks. I'm Mark for the Young Bucks. They do that periodically. They do have the tendency to bring it on, and we're crescendoing, and now we're going down the hill. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And this was one of those matches, but still definitely worth a watch. And then we had the debut of a new wrestler in New Japan. I don't know if you're aware of him. Some guy named Vacation Okada.
Vacation Okada is best Okada. It's hilarious.
So
bopping people with red balloons.
Pretty much. So, anyways, so we get the Rainmaker music. He's out. Will Ospreay comes out in the rope, and for the longest time, I was thinking like, there's something weird looking about Okada because I'm looking at Ospreay thinking it's Okada, and then I'm like, oh no, Okada's back there with the balloons.
He's the much taller guy.
And he's celebrating with the crowd. He is enjoying not being champion for a while. It suits him. It's good. And they took on Naito and Bushi, and this was a side of Okada you don't get to see a ton of. You get to see it sometimes. His match with Toru Yano back in the G1 Classic last year was a good example of this. But comedy Okada, lighthearted Okada.
Last year at the first G1 American special, they had some of that on night 2 because he didn't have a match. He was in a multi-man match. That was the dance-off match. Remember that?
Yes. And the Will Ospreay taking beers from the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. And that was like your first glimpse of Vacation Okada. I would recommend going back, and anybody who hasn't seen that, watch that. It's fucking funny as hell.
Indeed. And a rolling theme throughout this entire podcast will be Vacation Okada. This young wrestler that came out of nowhere and wowed us. Anyways, not a lot in terms of technicality to this match. Not a lot of storyline even, really, but just the storyline of Okada having fun, enjoying himself, and being light.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Time Bomb versus Dragon Lee.
Time Bomb.
Both of these guys get a massive prop because I have, in the past, gone on the rant on what I call the Del Rio Stomp. I'm not a fan of it. You go to the top rope, guy holds himself up, you double stomp him. It's a stupid move. I wanted to stop being used. But these guys used it well. Mm-hmm. Because Time Bomb was on the outside, and if he had let go, he would have probably fallen off the apron.
Busted his ass.
And Dragon Lee comes smashing down. I'm like, there you go. You gave him a reason to hang on to the ropes. Thank you. Jesus Christ. So that was fantastic. Time Bomb does eventually retain. There was some. This was brutal. Every Time Bomb match is freaking brutal. There's always some stuff going out to the floor, and just absolutely insane risks. Things that the human body is not really meant to do.
Yep.
And they deliver, and somehow don't kill themselves.
It's always good.
Time Bomb retained with, of course, the Time Bomb, and he is still your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Junior big old fatty weight champion of the universe.
Then we had a match that a lot of people are talking about in glowing terms, and I'm not particularly over on it, and that was the U.S. title match between Switchblade Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Yeah, it was 2 too slow for the work rate. And I know what they're going for, but if they're going for this brutal smash 'em up, it needed to be more brutal than that.
I also need, if you're going to give Juice Robinson a, air quotes, cast, give the man a cast, not a goddamn tensor bandage.
Yeah, they keep saying it's a cast over and over. He's got a couple of braces on a couple of fingers, and it's all wrapped up in tape.
Like, I'm sure the man's a pain, but the attire needs to sell this. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This was, of course, the match where JR got banged up at ringside when they did
that looked bad.
That looked bad. Josh Barnett wound up chasing Jay White around for a while. JR starts getting cranky as fuck and he's going, are there rules to this match?
He had been cranky. Well, to be fair, he had been super cranky right up to that point, and then it became Crankmaster 5000. There were like 4 or 5 times during this entire card where he was just shitting on, well, what are they doing with the officiating? Come on, what's the official doing?
Not gonna lie, I periodically do give that at the official.
Well, yeah, but they explain these things. This again goes back to JR and Barnett don't really have any business commentating on this because they don't know what's going on. Kevin Kelly always lets us know, okay, the refs have been instructed, be a little lenient on this match because the office wants to see a finish or the office wants a win or a loss. He doesn't say it quite like that, but that's what he means. Is they have it's understood in a Suzuki-gun match that you're not going to call it as tight as you should because you're going to just disqualify Suzuki-gun within the first 2 minutes and then
might as well fire them at some point.
Yeah. So, but it's always explained. You've been given leeway here. And I don't know if nobody told Barnett and JR or if they were told and they decided that they didn't need to whatever, or they decided they wanted to go into business for themselves, which Barnett did all night, including at this moment, where he decided he was going to be the tough guy instead of being a professional. If he would have maybe helped JR up off the goddamn ground like a human being, instead of trying to be tough guy supremo.
Yeah, this assumes he went in for himself and they weren't intending to do this.
I don't think so.
Because with Barnett now officially out of the UFC, you could, in theory, do a match with him. Like, he is released from any kind of contractual problems. Not that I think that's a good idea, because I've seen Barnett wrestle, and it's not great.
I've heard him talk about how he knows how to wrestle, and I've heard him talk about, it's real easy, and you do this, and he's kind of really, it's just like his commentary. It's all, his talk about wrestling is real lackadaisical. And it's just a thing to him, that it's a thing on the side. Maybe he'll do it, maybe he won't. I don't think he has any drive. I think the commentary gig's just a paycheck, I believe.
Oh, I firmly believe that, yeah. The only time I saw Barnett wrestle was at Impact, and he delivered the scariest powerbomb I've ever seen, and I don't mean that in a good way. I don't know how that guy didn't get paralyzed way. So, if I'm Jay White and they're like, okay, Barnett's going to chase you around a bit, we're going to get some heat going, and it's going to lead to like a match between you and Barnett at some point, I'm like, no, thank you, no.
I in no way want to watch Jay. I can't quite get that match together, White versus Josh. I can't quite get my life together, Barnett.
Now, there were some nice things about this match. This was the match with the drop-down flatliner on the apron. That was very, very good. Awesome. More of that, please. But we had another New Japan match ending here where, so the match should have ended when Jay White hits a low blow. Very well done. The ref is shielded by Juice Robinson, so he can't see it, so it's perfectly good. Juice manages to make a bit of a comeback, though, because White is like selling being hurt. Hits him with the cast, with the ref not looking, and then hits Pulp Friction. And then Jay White kicked out.
Yep.
And then really the match ended shortly after that. Pair of half nails and suplexes to set up Blade Runner. Juice gets out of it, rolls him up, becomes your first American US champion. Again, like the Young Bucks match earlier in the night, It reached its crescendo, and you kind of blew it.
Yeah, I don't really ever have a problem with the Young Bucks doing that sort of thing because they usually have something flashier. I don't really specifically remember that Young Bucks match, but I'm just in the kind of the way that I don't have a lot of memory. I have, some memories of the Juice versus Jay White match, but it's not one of Jay White just seems to have these matches that I just don't. Maybe it's a little Goto syndrome where it's like, wow, this guy again. And then you watch the match and like, oh, that was better than I thought it was going to be. Or in Goto's case, it's always way better than you thought it was going to be. But in Jay White's case, it's just a little bit better, but it's nothing that's going to make you go, oh man, this guy right here.
And there's obviously people who disagree with us, but I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm very lukewarm on Jay White. And I was a big booster of Jay White back in the day.
You were.
But he's not made certain steps that I was kind of hoping he would.
No, I don't know, and I don't know how you fix that because it's not that he's a bad wrestler. He's got good promo skills. I saw his promos coming into this match; they were awesome. He's like very loud, angry, adamant, like gets right up in like people's business. They were really, really good, but the match did in no way live up to those promos. It was just a bunch of, we're going to do a big, brutal move, we're going to wait 30, 40 seconds, do another big, brutal move, then we're going to wait 30, 40 seconds, then we're going to do 2 or 3 smaller, kind of brutal moves, and then we're going to wait 30, 40 seconds, and it was a WWE plod fest, kind of.
A little bit, yeah, like with a faster work rate than the WWE would have given us, but yeah, it had a WWE feel to it. Then we had the IWGP Heavyweight title match. Cody Rhodes challenging Kenny Omega. Also, pretty much the final challenge for the Bullet Club leadership, effectively, basically.
Yarp.
So I really liked this match. It was very good. There was a there was a table spot, but it was not a Japanese table. I can guarantee you that much. Oh Jesus! Because Kenny just did like a double stomp on Cody and went right through it.
Because that shit broke on the first try.
Interesting to use Cody using every trick in the book. But here's the thing with where I like with Cody, because I complain about when WWE has the wrestler that you don't believe because he cheats all the time can actually hold his own. Cody, you believe, like he's using that every little advantage. Like he shields himself with Brandy in the match, for example. He's being smart, dastardly heel and wrestling a lot of the time, whereas in WWE, they would take like that exact same character and have him cowering in the corner when he's not cheating.
Yeah.
Cody doesn't do that. Cody fights you. Cody is a dirty fighter, but he is a fighter. We also got a brief rant about the rules and Josh Barnett in regards to closed fists during this match. Fuck off, Barnett.
You should recognize the rules against closed pharmacy cabinets.
Oh. We also got some ladders, chairs. This turned into a TLC match for a bit.
It did. It was great. And the crowd started chanting TLC as well.
Yeah, that too. Kenny is the one who brought the ladder in, so by wrestling logic, he must eat the ladder. His back did, so, that happens.
I was kind of looking like... I was halfway completely scared to death and halfway really anticipating, like, is he really going to do the superplex off of the 30-foot ladder that's in the ring onto the outside through a table? They're both gonna die.
Yeah,
but I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the Paul London please don't die moment basically for the match.
Yarp.
I enjoyed Brandy literally kicking Kenny in the butt. That was good. Brandy, best valet in wrestling right now. Not manager, valet, clearly. And then there was that poor guy in the blue suit who I think lost a kneecap to the guardrail. Jesus
Holy
Christ.
Shit, that looked painful as fuck.
Yeah, ow,
None of the two, to the small defense of JR and Barnett, none of the guardrails were connected or secured. None of them. So anybody who got thrown into a guardrail, that guardrail was going down. And it came down like a bear trap right on the top, like right above his knee, I think.
Yup. That had to suck. That's the price you pay for sitting front row.
Yeah.
New Japan show.
You are in the splash zone.
You are in the splash zone. There may be blood. The Young Bucks, of course, were at ringside this whole time, and anytime one of their friends would get a little bit too heated, they would be trying to calm him down. Cody shoved them away at one point. They were begging Kenny at one point not to use a second table. It was an interesting dynamic. The Young Bucks adding a lot to this match by being at ringside and not really being able to choose a side.
Yeah, they were basically they were just peacemakers the entire time, and it was good. That's kind of what they've been doing the entire time anyway, because even back in the day when it was they were just hanging around with Omega and they would come down to the ring with him, they would still, try and keep things cool. They would try and calm him down. They would try and the one time that the whole Bullet Club came down to the ring and they tried to throw the towel in, they're like, no, this has to keep going. All kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, they're very good at adding stuff at ringside, which is great. There was also a really good moment where, there was the Superflex moment you handled that before, where both men ate that hard. Jesus Christ.
Shit.
But there was also a very good moment where Cody's got the belt and he's gonna hit Kenny with it, but he's having second thoughts. He's conflicted, which is easily the first time I think Cody Rhodes has ever been conflicted about anything since in the post WWE timeline. Brandy comes in to shield Cody and try and save her, but Cody surprisingly just kind of like chews her way. It's like, but it brought him time to counter the V-trigger with a lariat. But he does fall to the one-winged angel. You knew Kenny Omega was going to win this match. There's no real reason to put the belt on Cody. And then this led to something interesting. And I like parts of what happened after this match. I dislike other parts. Would you like to go first on the firing squad?
Well, for one thing, the name doesn't really do it for me. I understand what they're going for, but Execution Squad might be better. Execution.
That's good.
It's a playoff Bullet Club. They're the firing squad, and I understand that it has to do with executions, but they could have been,
I mean, if you really wanted to go with the Bullet Club thing, how about High Caliber?
Or higher caliber.
Oh,
right, 'cause they're higher.
They are of course the OG Bullet Club. They are, although technically only two members of it are OG, but still.
I think the one problem that you have that I'm totally going to steal is that Chase Owens is, gets goat fucked in this one. And there's a little contradiction. Like they're beating the dick out of him, and they're like, "Whose side are you on?" I'm like, "Well, not your side. You're hitting with a fucking chair." I thought it was very bizarre that they're beating up the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And for those who don't know, the firing squad in this case was the Guerrillas of Destiny and Haku. Yeah. It also includes Hikuleo, of course, and Bad Luck Fale. So basically, the Tongan portion of the Bullet Club, Tongan Club, if you will. Yeah.
And there's a couple of guys coming out trying to make the save. You got Hangman Page. You got Hangman Page comes out. You got Marty Scurll comes out. They get beat up, and then Chase Owens and Tokyo Pimp come out, and they try to make peace, and then they just get waylaid. And Tama Tonga's there beating down Chase Owens with a chair going, "Whose side are you on?" And I'm like, well, not yours, clearly. I didn't even get the chance. I didn't get the choice on the matter. You're wailing me with a chair.
Correct.
And then it got weirder because Cody comes out. Of course, Tama Tonga's had nothing but bad things to say about Cody, if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cody hands him a chair, or Tama Tonga hands him a chair to say, basically you can whack Kenny. Cody doesn't do it. Fends him off for a little bit. Haku does the Tongan death grip on him. They subdue him, but it's like, why did Cody get a choice? And Chase Owens and the Pimp, who I always largely expected to be part of Tongan Club, just got smashed with chairs.
Yeah.
So, execution is at best on this a thumbs in the middle.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that just... they don't make a whole lot of sense. It would have been one thing if they would have included, let's just get Chase Owens on our side, and then we can pull some dastardly nefarious things and use him as a sleeping, a stalking horse. Stocking Horse Sleeper Agent. Okay. You could just you just use him as a prop, and then we've done dastardly things, and then betray him. But none of that really made any sense. So yeah.
And I mean,
we didn't see all this coming anyway.
And if you're literally just gonna do the Haku family, why even bother with the firing squad thing? Just go Tongan Club. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like literally the entire faction consists of King Haku, his son, his two foster sons, and his nephew in some like extended way. Bad Luck Fale is their cousin. I don't know if it's a first cousin type deal or what.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you literally eliminated the two people we kind of assumed would be with you, Pimp and Chase. And also you set yourself up that you really can't win a heads-up fight with the Bullet Club that you've left behind. So yeah, not great execution. I like the Bullet Club Civil War, but I think you did it wrong.
Yeah, they don't have the numbers game. They don't have really any, like you've got the biggest members physically, I guess, if that's what you're going for. But
yeah, I mean, you got basically Haku doesn't really count because he's at best going to work a part-time schedule.
He's an old man.
He can still go. He wrestled earlier on in the show. Probably because honestly, Haku's game was largely not about athleticism, but just rather raw power and being horrifying, which he can still do at his age. But you got basically a 5-man faction that's against the Elite, Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. You've got Owens and Pimp, so that's 5. Cody Rhodes, Skrull, that's 7. You pretty much can throw Kota Ibushi in there as well, so you're outnumbered 8 on 5.
Yep.
And that's including Haku.
I mean, yeah. So unless you're going to start recruiting into the firing squad, then what do you got going on there?
The return of Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows.
I was going to ask about that, since like all actual pertinent contracts are up in January of this year or next year. If I were,
I hope so. I truly hope so. They're completely wasted in WWE.
Ways to look at it. You got if they're getting paid a shitload of money and they're able to get home to their families, I guess.
No, like I can obviously understand that if money is the big thing, and if WWE is paying them a lot more, then I'm not gonna say walk away from that. But
yeah.
If the money is similar or close, man, go back to New Japan. Jesus.
Yeah.
Because you're wasted there. Like, AJ Styles is getting a good deal. He should stay. Finn Balor,
depends on what he wants. Depends on the money and what he wants.
Balor, I can see making a lot of money. I don't really see Anderson and Gallows making tons of money, but maybe they are.
I guess. I don't know.
Anyways, so that was then we had 2 nights of the G1 that we're going to cover here. We're going to focus on the actual block action, except when things happened that interested us, which wasn't really anything. And in fact, we even skipped one of the block matches on night 1 because it was Bad Luck Fale versus Hangman Page.
Yeah.
So we opened up the G1 with Michael Elgin versus Everything Is Evil.
Hey.
This was good. This was a hard-hitting match between 2 big hosses. And I don't really have anything else to say about that. Like there's not any spots I want to break down in some great detail.
No, really. There was a bunch
solid
of good suplexes, good power match, good times. Are we skipping over the Makabe Yoshihashi?
Yeah, we didn't watch that either. And
we didn't watch that either.
I got nothing to say.
Listen, I love the Unchained King Kong, but come on.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to skip all the Yoshi Hash Browns matches.
Well, depends who he's against. There might be something that tickles my fancy at some point.
Maybe.
We'll see.
See if he's up against somebody brutal.
Suzuki and Tanahashi went head to head in a match that I feel like I've seen repetitively.
Yeah, they have for New Japan. They've had those 2 wrestle a lot against each other in the last year and a half, maybe. And I'm kind of over it.
definitely need a break from it if we can't get a different style of match out of those two.
Well, I mean, the problem is that they've done a variety of matches. They've done a really great job till now, including everything from we're just going to torture Tanahashi for 20 minutes until he either passes out or whatever the fuck, to, back and forth match, to Tanahashi winning, to everything in between. We've seen it all. So this match wasn't anything that didn't have a lot of the other elements in it. And it doesn't really stand
If you have not, for some reason, seen Tanahashi versus Suzuki at any point, watch this match. Otherwise, you can skip it.
Yeah.
There was also the debut of Sirius Yano during this card.
Oh, yeah.
Against Ishii in a... Was this a tag match, or was this the match?
This was a tag with
this was a tag match.
Sho and Yo on opposite teams.
Sho and Yo, yeah. So split up the Stone Pitbull, Sublime Pitbulls, and split up Roppongi 3K. Put them on opposite teams. I did enjoy the. I called it team personality versus team badass. It was because you had Yo with Yano, and they're the personality of their respective teams for sure, and then Sho and Ishii, who are the hard men of the teams. Mm-hmm. So. That was a nice juxtaposition, and it was pretty good. And we got to see a really good takeover by Yano on Ishii.
He's done at least one of those. He's done at least one really snazzy go behind and one really snazzy takeover in every match we've seen him do this so far.
And the last match we're going to talk about was Vacation Okada versus Switchblade Jay White, which I thought was a very well done match. I thought this was very good. It's, of course, interesting to see Jay White has always been the heel in Chaos, not doing the poses with Goto and Yoshihashi, for example, the outwardly calling out both Will Ospreay and Goto to go after Okada and calling out Okada, telling him how he's going to take his title. Now he doesn't have the title anymore. And, definitely worked against the best interests of Chaos here by cheating a lot in this match. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's any repercussions down the road for that.
I've heard rumblings that they're going to have him take over Chaos, and then they're going to have Chaos go heel, and they're going to have Bullet Club go full-on face.
I mean, Bullet Club face is pretty much a given at this point. There's not really much else to do with that.
Yeah, the problem is that people are bored with Suzuki-gun. They're not scary anymore. They're more of a carnival act.
They didn't really do much with they debuted Suzuki-gun really well, and then from that point onwards they lose a little bit too much for one thing, and they are definitely more cartoony, which is a shame because there's a ton of talent in that stable.
Taka needs sake.
Taka does need sake. So all right, let's continue this on. If Jay White becomes the leader of Chaos, who stays, who goes?
I think Goto's probably going to go. I think Okada... It'd be better if they just didn't have Okada on TV or on the card for a long time. And then he can make a triumphant return.
Sell an injury at the hands of Jay White, perhaps.
Yeah, and then maybe Goto and can hey, no, that's not cool, man. And then they can have a feud for a bit. And then, I don't know.
I would think Ospreay would leave because I can't really picture heel Ospreay.
I can.
I'm having a hard time with it. Yoshihashi, don't care. Ishii and Yano totally could transition into being heels. Mm-hmm. That's easy as heck. So could Roppongi 3K. I don't think that'd be really a problem. So yeah, and then you can add some people into it. Maybe there's not really a lot of single heels right now in the company, really.
No, not really. What if Jay White turns heel, takes Chaos with him, and Vacation Okada is so lost that he ends up joining Los Ingobernables de Japón?
Ah, Tranquilo Okada.
Sí, Tequila Okada OP.
Then we had Block B action on night 2, which opened up with Toru Yano versus Tomohiro Ishii with Rocky Romero on commentary. He was on commentary night 1. We just didn't mention it. He went down in this match and apparently hurt his back. And we thought maybe he was making fun of JR, but that would be rude.
Yeah, we were like, is he taking the piss? I don't think that's very nice.
Well, I was convinced he wasn't taking the piss when Kevin Kelly's like, "You all right, Rock?" He's like, "No, my back." So, Rocky Romero injured on commentary. There you go. So this was interesting because Toru Yano has promised to not cheat for this this G1, which he's sort of is cheating. He's still exposing turnbuckles and stuff. But he's not low blowing. He went for the chair in this match, but was like, no, just a reflex.
Yeah, the ref stepped in, and the ref's like, no, man, no, you said you... Like, I don't speak Japanese, but I imagine it was something like, you promised you weren't going to... He's like, oh, right, yeah, no, you're totally right.
So...
Also, if we're going to do any simulated Warhammer 40k, can I have a power chair?
I mean, that's obviously an option.
Yes, bitch!
Anyways, Ishii got the win. I would have liked Serious Yano to get the win here, but yeah, I'm okay with it.
There should be a payoff. I've heard that he does not actually do well in the tournament.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I would want a payoff, like not winning the G1 or anything, but
no, but better. Maybe the payoff is that he has better performances in the matches, but he's obviously not going to win them. I guess maybe, but
yeah.
I still would prefer like a better showing than usually has.
True.
Would be good.
We had Tama Tonga versus Juice Robinson, still playing up the whole cast thing.
Yeah.
I like the vertical gut buster. That was interesting.
Vertical suplex into the gut, but it wasn't quite executed the way it should have been, but I have a feeling that was like an on-the-fly thing that should become a regular thing.
Tonga Loa was distracting Juice a lot during this matchup. Eventually, Juice has had enough, pops him into the ring, beats him up with some punches, hits him with the cast. I have quotes around cast.
Goes him with the bandage.
Goes for Pulp Friction, but Tama Tonga counters into the stun gun for the 3. So Firing Squad gets the win in their sort of singles debut, which kind of had to happen. Like this was a match that Tama definitely had to win.
Yeah.
To make that worthwhile. Then we had Hiroki Goto versus Sonata, and it was my boy Carnage. That was for sure. It was interesting, really solid matchup. Much like a lot of Hiroki Goto matches, not a lot of hair raising spots that we got to talk about. Not a lot of that. It's just good, solid, quick work rate. Things generally making sense. Things working pretty well, and he hit a reverse GTR and a GTR to get the win over Mr. Sonata.
See, it was a good match. It's stereotypical Hiroki Goto. I guess okay, fine. I'll watch the match. Hey, it's a pretty good match.
And as long as you're watching stuff with me, you will always watch Hiroki Goto matches.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. It's just it's this weird mental hang-up that in the back of my head I'm going, all right, well, it's a Goto match. And then at the end of the match I'm like, oh, yeah. And then for like 2 seconds my brain goes, why aren't you a bigger fan of Goto? It's like, I don't know. And then we move on to the next match.
Which was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi. Just tap out. And of course, I like that you noticed at the start of this match that Zack Sabre Jr. has no ass.
That is correct. Still got no ass.
You enjoyed this match, and you're generally not the biggest fan of Zack Sabre Jr. match, so please take us through a little bit of what you liked. Well,
the thing of it is that the Zack Sabre Jr. matches usually stop happening about, 2 minutes in. I got a submission hold, and now I'm holding you in 2 submission holds, and now I'm holding you in 3 submission holds, and now I'm holding you in 17 submission holds. And we're gonna hold it here for 93 minutes until you finally roll over 2 inches and grab the rope. He's a great tactician. He's a great technician. He's very smooth with what he does. Maybe too smooth. Maybe that's kind of the problem. But he just they grab a hold and they rest. That's a Zack Sabre Jr. match. Watching him smoothly go into one move and hold it there for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, And the next move, he piles onto that for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. The next move, he piles onto, and it's not like he's transitioning. He's literally like, oh, and now I've got your leg in a semi-Indian deathlock type scenario. And now I've got the opposite arm in a hammerlock. And we'll hold this for a while. And now I've got the other arm, and I'm gonna tweak the wrist instead of just doing an arm lock. So I've got an arm lock and a wrist lock. Aren't I the clever boy? And then the next thing you know, like 10 minutes has gone past, and you're going, okay, cool. Can we have a match now?
Yeah, that usually happens.
This, and I was saying going into this match, like, I think we were discussing whether we were even going to bother watching it, and I was like, well, no, I think we should, because maybe Kota Ibushi's finally that guy that's too dynamic for Zack Sabre Jr. to do Zack Sabre Jr. things. And I was right. And I'm never going to tire of being right.
I think it's also the fact that Kota Ibushi knows how to grapple, which makes it more believable. Like the thing is when Zack Sabre Jr. is in there, it's like Demi and Maya grappling in BJJ with a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. Like, in order for it to last a long time, it starts to look ridiculous.
Yes.
And that's kind of the thing. But Ibushi kind of played off it more, was involved in the grappling aspect, which a lot of guys are really not.
Yeah, they're just there being tortured, air quotes.
Yeah. And it's not believable because you're torturing the guy for like 18 minutes and he's not tapping.
And that's the other thing is these torturous moves that he's pulling off, I don't buy. I mean, if you're gonna put this, listen. I've seen we're gonna have this discussion again. I've seen a whole bunch of mixed martial arts. I know what kind of pain these moves do. I know exactly the physical damage they should incur. I am not impressed when you hold an arm bar for 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's not really a thing.
So, but this match had a lot of dynamic actual wrestling. It had a lot of dynamic grappling because Zack Sabre Jr. wasn't holding a move for longer than 35 seconds total, maybe? Mm-hmm. There was some that he held longer, but basically he's like, I've got your arm. Oh shit, this isn't gonna. I've got your leg. This isn't gonna work. I'm gonna go for the other arm. Shit, this maybe a choke. Oh shit, you got out of it. God damn it. And then there would be some moves around the ring, and there's some strikes, and then Zack Sabre Jr. would start doing some strikes back. It's like, I can do that too, motherfucker. And then we had actual wrestling moves, like suplexes and things like that. And I believe there were some DDTs as well. And
there was indeed.
And so this was the Zack Sabre Jr. match I wanted to see. To put, not to find a point on it, I think Zack Sabre Jr. could be this generation's Chris Benoit, but he's just not, hopefully doesn't end up down that road to the end game. But,
yeah, let's avoid the end game. No diving headbutts.
Yeah. But I genuinely think Zack Sabre Jr. could be the best technical wrestler, end of statement, for the next 20 years. But he doesn't have the dynamism to his game that, say, a Bret Hart or a Chris Benoit or a Malenko or I know there's somebody I'm missing, somebody very underrated. It's gonna escape me, unfortunately. But Jericho was pretty good at it, but he wasn't. Damn it! There's somebody in the back of my brain that I am just not coming up with. But you know who I'm like, the technicians, the tacticians, the dynamic ring generals. That could be him. But right now, it's he's 20 years deep in the wrestling game, and I think his style is what his style is anymore, and he's never going to achieve that level, unfortunately. I just don't think it's possible for him right now, unless he...
It does have to be said, though, while we gripe about him, the general consensus is people do love Zack Sabre Jr. So,
and I don't dislike Zack Sabre Jr. It's just that he has, just to put the final kind of period on the sentence, he's a rest hold guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a submission or not, it's a rest hold, because you're just resting.
Yeah, I definitely see that point of view. But as long as people cheer it, I guess there's not really a strong reason to change.
Pretty much. Let's see, what's the official word here? He is 31 years old, so he's younger than me.
Younger than me by a couple of months.
Debuted in April 20th, 2004. So
14 years in the game. Started when he was 17.
That's about where, yeah. So he's 14 years in the game. His style is what it is, and it's not going to change. Unfortunately, I don't think he's got a second gear. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think I am.
Then we brought it all home with the leader of LIJ versus the leader of Bullet Club, Tetsuya Naito versus Kenny Omega. And just the pre-match to this was awesome with Naito doing the eye thing with the belt, going, oh, that's the belt, huh? That's the belt.
That is. Oh yes, I see. That is the belt.
I see. That is the belt.
Intriguing.
So there was a part where I was pretty sure you died, and that was the Poison Rana counter to the One Wing Angel.
Oh my god, I marked out like a motherfucker.
In general, there was an exceptionally large amount of like very good counter work in this, with countering the One Winged Angel and countering Destino.
Yeah,
just a lot of multi-fi
what was that one
stuff.
Counter to he hit? Damn it, I don't remember. There was a one sexy fucking counter to the One Winged to the Destino that I'd never wasn't a roll through.
You mean the roll through kind of into the almost Crow's Destroyer into the Crux Wrath. The semi package pile driver also.
Fuck
that was really good. That was spectacular. I also really enjoyed the countering of an avalanche One Wing Angel into a sunset bomb by Naito. That was fucking great. I had a bit of a New Japan moment with Kenny hitting the J Driller for a 2 count, and then just basically getting the finish with a V trigger and then One Winged Angel just to finish it out. It was kind of like, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that. We can maybe rise from that, but then we just ended the match like 10 seconds later, and it's like, I could have done without the J Driller, I guess.
Yeah, the J Driller really is it. Like, there's no, you have to hit, so the only way that would have been, and this match got 5 stars, by the way. And I
don't, and literally this is my only gripe of the entire match. I think everything else was brilliant.
Yeah, no, and I had the same reaction at the time, because the guy literally, I think it was Kevin Kelly, literally said it's the J Driller. I'm like, oh my god, it is the J Driller. And it was like, this match is the fuck over. And he kicked out on, I think he kicked out, did he kick out on 1?
No, it was 2, but it was like not 2 3/4, not 2.5. Like it was 2 kick. Yeah, 1-2 kick.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the J Driller, and that's it. That's all there is to
like
that.
It just doesn't seem necessary. Like you swap out the J Driller for like a Dragon Suplex there, get the 2 with the Dragon Suplex, then Dragon Suplex One Winged Angel, boom, you got basically the same match. And you don't kind of, and I get it, finishers are going to get kicked out of, I understand this.
Yeah, well,
but it just kind of seemed like there was a J Driller there for no reason.
You know what? It would have been perfect if it wasn't a really good J Driller.
That too.
And the commentary could just gone like, oh, well, that's not really his move. It's totally understandable. And like, oh, yeah. But the problem is that Kenny Omega is so fucking amazing that he just did a J Driller off I think maybe he just pulled it out of his ass. Like, here you go. Plunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he just did it perfect. And there's no reason to kick out of that.
Yeah. Anyways, that was the part of the G1 we're up to so far. There is definitely more that has already happened. We just need to watch it and catch up. I apologize. It's entirely my fault because I've been really busy.
You haven't been busy. You've been playing Mech Warrior. Be honest with people.
I've also been very busy because while I'm playing Mech Warrior, I'm also doing like paperwork and stuff for the estate. So that's and I'm in the wrong mood as well. Like just bad headspace.
Listen, I don't tell Mike I said this, but he's been doing non-stop Quaaludes. He's been playing Dota 2 and Mech Warrior Online non-stop for 3 weeks.
That is not true. It's been a week.
I don't think he bathes. I don't think he even blinks.
Well, I don't blink to begin with.
And I think he's only been drinking straight brake cleaner. So just,
I think would kill even me at this point. So that's the wrestling we have for you. Unless you want to bring up anything in ROH, NXT, etc. review.
I didn't get to ROH this week. I watched NXT this week. They had a match between Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae that was almost good enough. I understand that you don't want to push Candice LeRae because you've got like what, you got about 4 or 5 women at the top of the card and no one else that's even on the card. So it's really hard because they push Lacey Evans like a motherfucker. They're pushing Vanessa Bourne like a motherfucker. They don't let Kairi Sane fucking wrestle. She just does run-ins to save people. You've got Candice LeRae that everybody loves, but the whole rub from Gargano is fading because they're not really doing anything with her correctly.
Also, Gargano's kind of going insane.
But it's great.
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
I'm getting to that. The match just wasn't good enough, and they did dumb face shit. Whereas, like, you've got the match won, you just hit your finisher, pin now. Oh, you're gonna go for an added moonsault for like she went for a lion salt and blew it, and then just put the choke on, roll over, grab the ropes because the ropes are literally like an inch away. And then some more shenanigans, and then back into the choke, and they had Candice LeRae tap out, which is not how you do that.
Yeah,
you get the Gargano rub by maintaining the Gargano mystique.
Mind you, she tapped out to Baszler, so I'm somewhat okay with it. Like, that's the only woman that should tap out, Candice.
Well, but I would be more. I probably
wouldn't have done the match.
More enthusiastic. I would be more in line with Baszler's a professional fucking executioner. She goes out, she terminates people. She's from a different kind of world than wrestlers. So when she hits a choke, you go out. That's it.
That would also work.
You go, oh god, raw, and that's it.
Yeah, but then that would kind of go against the whole Baszler's a bully who doesn't really respect anyone type of thing.
Well, then beat him up once they're unconscious.
Yeah.
Start kicking him around.
That too.
But I was not okay with Candice LeRae tapping out. Just go out. Go out with the Gargano fighting spirit, right? And then she started picking on Candice a little bit afterwards, and Kairi Sane comes out to save the day, and then Kairi Sane can't get at her because referees, and then she pie faces Kairi Sane into the ground and then walks off with her belt. It just was clumsy WWE stuff.
Well, it's also that they continuously kind of run the same storyline with someone saving someone from Shayna only to not give Shayna her comeuppance. So
yeah. And they finally had a rematch between Heavy Machinery and the Nazis Don't Squeal, and it was kind of dumb because they had Heavy Machinery Squirrel Harbor the Nazis, and then they got 30 seconds worth of momentum, and then the Nazis hit one drop kick, and all of a sudden, the momentum has changed in the match. Oh my god! I was like, that's not what this team is, though. That's not how you've booked Heavy Machinery. You can't do that.
That is how they booked Heavy Machinery over the last month or so.
Yeah, I guess. But it just wasn't good enough. They had I messaged you about Mustache Mountain came out and they tore the shit out of some jobbers. Yeah, with the old, you want to see a good squash match, motherfucker, go watch that. And then they debuted the Trent Seven Burning Hammer with your boy Tyler Bates' knee drop. Holy shit, that looks like it'll murder people. That's a great move. And then they had a really great promo, and Trent Seven's a great promo. End of story.
Yeah, it's what he brings to the table.
Yeah, well, he's really good in the ring, but it's not quite as good as the Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was interesting during the promo because Trent Seven went first and hyped up the crowd, and then Tyler Bate, the fan favorite, came on, and he started talking kind of like I don't know, like it's not a Liverpool accent. He's from Dudley. I don't know where Dudley is exactly in relation to Thensor.
I don't really know English accents. I know
some. I can do the Liverpool, and fucking Scousers, and it sounded like it really reminded me of John Lennon, and he kind of had the kind of pad into his voice, yeah, and he said yeah, and some of the crowd were like yeah, and I was like, dude, go with that. That could be the new what, which is horrible. And I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not so down on that now that you bring that up.
But it could have been... I think it could have been one of those things that only would have responded when he did it, because he has that... He can say it in only the way he can say it. It's not like Stone Cold going,
And of course, the greatest burn on the what chant. Say what if you sleep with your sister?
Hey.
What? That's what I thought.
So there was a bit of like, there's something really there, and I think I would be really excited if Tyler Bate explored that sort of thing. But they did a great job. They're going to have a rematch against the undistributed area at TakeOver Brooklyn 15.
Looking forward to it.
So, and then like the kind of the capper to the evening, I've kind of bounced around all over the card here. The capper to the evening was your boy Tomato Compatriot. Was going to get, you're going to hear tonight live. You're going to hear from Tomato Campari. And I fucking didn't care. Like, I need zero promos from Ciampa right now. I don't need a thing. I don't need him to say anything. He's got so much heat. All you can do is open your mouth and fuck it up. So when he came, like I watched him come out, and he came out to like, did he have? I can't even remember. They might have played his intro for like a half second, and he came out, and there's all kinds of boos, and he went around jawing at the crowd, and I started skipping through it because I really wasn't interested in anything he had to say out loud. I don't need that from him. None of that needs to happen from him. And I got to a point where I skipped, and then like suddenly he's out in the crowd like rubbing his jaw and holding his face. I'm like, oh yeah, just skip back about a minute. And so what happened was, Tomato Campari was in the ring jawing off on the microphone, and Aleister Black's music hits. And Aleister Black makes it a quarter of the way down to the ring, and a streaking Gargano goes, and it dives into the ring and beats the shit out of fucking Ciampa. And he ends up like scurrying the shit out back out of the ring into the crowd. And then Gargano gets on the mic and repeatedly says, "The only reason you're the champion is because of me." He said it like 4 times. And then he happened to give a half turn, and Black gave him the black mass. And he's like, "You're right," and put the mic down and walked off.
I believe there was an O beside my name that you owe me.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating a 3-way dance.
Yeah, supposedly Black is hurt. Either a quadricep or a groin problem. So having a 3-way allows you to hide him in the background.
I heard it was his back.
I had heard that it was the lower body. Maybe it is everything. I don't know.
Maybe it's his dick.
He's got that hyperextended dick.
I gotta sprain my dick.
So yeah, there was that. Yeah, that's all we got for this week. Unless we have any random tidbits of news.
Just kind of like a quick R.I.P. to Volkov and Brickhouse Brown and your boy Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexay.
It's been a dark week.
It was like a lot, and there was somebody else. Damn it, I'm gonna be the asshole who doesn't remember who the 4th guy was. There was like 4 guys died in like 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Brian Christopher, he had been arrested twice in a couple of months, and he was in jail for a DWI, and apparently hung himself in his cell. And so he was on life support for a couple of days, and I guess his family just took him off, and there was no chance he was coming back.
Yeah. Tragic.
I don't know if it's that tragic, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of I wonder what his life would have been like if he hadn't gone into wrestling. That's all.
Yeah, he definitely was a guy who went into wrestling as a family business and really could not handle it. Could not live up to the shadow of Jerry.
No, especially not in the WWE. They were never going to do. He was, you know what? It would have been really interesting if he would have been born maybe 10 years later than he was, and he could kind of take advantage of what's going on now in the indie scene. Is like, I can actually go make my name and money in other small places, a variety of small places, like my dad did, and maybe carve a place out for himself. But he was also the guy who tried to smuggle cocaine into Canada, and
definitely made a lot of really poor life choices.
Yeah, it's like you had a really solid spot selling a lot of merch. How many tag championships do they have? At least 2.
I think they only won 1, actually. I was looking it up when I was going through his life, basically.
Let's see. Too Cool had Scotty had the lightweight title once, and they held. It says WWF and WWE, so I'm gonna go. Oh, actually, he was only on one of the teams. Scotty and Rikishi won a different one.
Yeah.
So he didn't ever have a singles title in the WWE. I'm sure he did outside of it. But, let's see, Too Sexy Brian Christopher. Oh, yeah. Too Sexy Brian Christopher and the United States Wrestling Association held the heavyweight championship 26 motherfucking times. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's quite a bit. A lot of titles in the USWA. In 2003, he was 367th of the 500 best singles wrestlers in the world. He had the Power Pro Wrestling TV title one time, NWA New South Heavyweight Champion one time, NWA Tag Team Championship one time with Spellbinder.
I have no idea who that is.
Harry Del Rios, also known as Spellbinder and Fantasio. What are you doing?
That's my steering wheel.
Jeebus Creepus. Fantasio. Was he the guy that pulled magic fucking cards? He was on there for like 8 seconds?
Wasn't that...
Like he was in WWE for 3 years, but they weren't the same, 93, 95, and 97.
Interesting.
Anything else? Memphis Wrestling Southern Heavyweight.
Of course he's got Memphis Wrestling titles.
He's got 1. Or 2. He's got the TV Championship and the Heavyweight Championship one time each. So, I mean, if you want to say nepotism, I guess, but he didn't get a ton of it there.
Not a ton, no. Not a ton.
So, I mean, 26-time USWA champion? What the fuck, man? I guess Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was the initial champion back in 74.
Yeah. I think that is all we got for this week, though. Next week, later this week, because we're probably going to do it on Saturday. We're going to do more G1. We're going to do a Lucha Underground Blockbuster. Bringing in a bunch, catching up on all those episodes. And that's all I think I really have for this week.
I think that's probably accurate.
So, get off Byron's lawn and see you on Saturday.
Remember, men who go through a turnstile sideways going to Bangkok.